We also have one old patrol car that we want to put on that auction. It's a 2010 Crown Victoria with 120,000 miles on it. So I've gotten the list there to Jim. And it sounds like maybe, would you say somebody else has a car that we can put on that?
Mental
auction?
health, I was gonna bring that up.
I talked to Carrie
Okay.
yesterday, and she said that they're ready to get rid of one,
Yeah,
and she knows which one she wants to get rid of. So
Yeah.
glad that she is.
okay, yeah. When I saw that you were on there for that, I wanted to ask if we could put that on there.
Yeah. So, and if anybody else in the county's got some older coming, whatever they want to auction or throw on there, you know, it's,
When are you,
Well, that's what we need to determine.
so, we can get rid of it just about any time now. Like I said, it's been, I think, October 13th is the year, so we had to wait a year, and that deadline's up, so. I guess some nice stuff in there.
a lot of,
A lot of DeWalt tools.
A lot of
Asian bolt.
wiring that could have come from that dairy barn down by the lake. Remember that?
Well, they claimed everything that they could say is theirs.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So none of this property, nobody's claimed.
nobody's claiming.
How do you think somebody would miss some of that?
Well, some of that stuff is some high, I mean, we had a whole brand new DeWalt kit, you know, with an impact driver and reciprocating saws and skill saws and 18 and 20 volt stuff, and so, but yeah, we've put notices out in the paper, you know, and nothing, so.
So it's up to us to make a date for the.
Date, yeah, I think, yeah, so. You know, we could probably do it, just we can get a hay rack or something and just do it right out here in the parking lot. All that stuff's in that far north garage, so it would be hard to,
The auctioneer will probably furnish a hay rack for you. Or anything.
normally, I think Greens did the last one, and is Arnold Sigmund does them from time to time. If we had anyone else, maybe Jim knows.
Wilkins sick, so he can't do it.
What's wrong? Girls?
Wilkins has got cancer, really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I asked the question about the auctioneer. I think Greens did the last one, and we had used Arlo Sigmund before. Have we used others?
We have in the past, and we don't do this often enough for me to keep any kind of a record of it. We used, when we sold the Schultz property, we used Mike Green and Dave Wilkin.
That's probably the last one.
That was the last one. And I think the one before that, we did use Arlo. And I think maybe he and Mike worked that one together, I'm not sure. So, I'll have to look in, I don't even know, I guess I don't even have a list of auctioneers in the county.
There's Wendell from Shaler, isn't he, from Shaler?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, there's a guy, Wall Lake, Glenn Detterman and Chris Crody. It's Paul Lake tickets.
yeah.
Don Neiman, is he still doing it?
He works with Arlo. I don't know if they were getting ready to go south.
Well, and the guys over here at the EMF.
That's right. McCray.
McCray.
Well, whoever you get to do it.
So it's not a big set, I mean, it ain't gonna take,
It's probably Sunday would be a good.
I don't, yeah.
What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I would say Sunday afternoon would be good. Is that all right with you?
Well, yeah, just,
Yeah,
we can make it
over
work.
here.
Yeah, that way you don't have to move hardly anything other than just out the door.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that car's all stripped out, and everything's out of it and ready to go.
I mean, the other one, I'm sure, just needs driven up here,
Yeah.
so.
I'll, how do you wanna do it? How do you want me to call all of them and,
Call like Mike and Arlo and see if they wanna work together on it. Mike's already got his sale.
okay.
That's fine. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and seconded to have the,
I guess we should have set a date. Sorry.
Well, we better let them
Yeah.
set the date.
Yeah.
Good point, that's a good point. Sorry.
for sale of seized property. Jim's gonna check with two auctioneers. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries.
And the other thing I have, I don't know if I told you guys this or not, but we're housing an inmate in Spencer and Clay County that we can't control here. He's been up there since June, and they're having all sorts of problems with him as well. He's, you know, they have a rubber room, kind of like a padded cell thing, and it sounds like he spends about 3 days a week in that. And if he's not in that, he's in the chair. But so we do have some expenses incurred for housing inmates outside of the county that we hadn't planned on. But
He's Sac County.
he's a Sac County inmate, yeah. He's scheduled for a competency hearing, or a competency evaluation at Oakdale, but we still don't have a date on that yet, so.
Adult or juvenile?
An adult, yeah. And then we have one in the Yes Center that's been in there for a week, and we have I think there's a waiver here next Wednesday to waive him to adult court, so.
This person that's in Clay or BV, whoever, if he has a hearing that's determined that he's not fit, will he be placed in somewhere then?
I'm not for sure what they'll do with him. He's been charged with, I think, with attempted murder, so he's got some issues, but, you
Yeah.
know, so he's up there. So you might see a bill floating through here for Clay County, that's what that is.
So, you don't have a better timeline or an idea of what will happen there?
Don't know, not a clue. You know, I've seen those orders take almost a year to get. They just took one, this Randy Barney. He got ordered for a competency hearing or evaluation a month before Zach Ricks did, and they just took him over today. Calvin took him over today for his, so we're hoping within the next month or so that that'll happen, and then I don't know what they'll do with next trial. So.
The one that's in the Yes Center, if they get that to adult court, will he be released from the Yes Center then?
Well, there's a chance that, depending on what the judge does, that we'll have to hold him. And that'll host a whole nother set of problems, because although he's a juvenile, we can hold them. But it's gotta be sight and sound separated, and we have an inmate from Calhoun that's a long-time problem that's in our center cell, that is our isolation cell, so I don't know what we'll do there, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You know, so, need a bigger jail with padded cells, need a new one. So, something.
Take him home with you.
I think moved out vote.
We have enough over there.
There's definitely enough to keep us busy, that's for sure. So that's all I have, unless somebody has anything for me.
Thanks, Ken.
All right, see you guys.
I will make a motion to pay claims on the register for a total of $664,388.28.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to pay claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries. Sherry, you can come forward.
That's great. Auction.
Yeah.
Motor. Brenda Shinnebaum turned in an application. Put on the house, and it turns out to be in the urban transition next to Wall Lake. Notified the
Oh,
city of Wall Lake, and they have no suggestions for the county and believes the addition of a new house close to town is positive. That was their remarks.
Excellent.
So,
I'm familiar with the location. It's on her grandparents' property.
stick around.
Yeah. She was just,
Oh, okay, I know where that is now.
yeah. I'll make a motion to approve this request.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the Shot and Boone permit. All in favor, say aye.
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 And what did you call that, urban transition?
It's the 2-mile
Yep.
extension of the town.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yep.
Thank you, Sharon.
Get one of them copies of that back or something, please. Let's stick with it. All right.
Good day.
Yep, thank you.
Here's the quarterly report.
I'll make a motion to approve receiving the recorder's quarterly report.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the recorder's quarterly report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries.
Motion shares.
Oh, that's
Yes,
the-
landfill. I'll make a motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the sheriff's quarterly report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries.
A couple weeks ago, our ICAP insurance group representative came in and talked to you guys about our limits of liability. And this is the survey that was done for counties' coverage. As you can see, we're on the second page, we're one of the lowest counties around, and they're just offering some additional coverage for, there's the limits and what the additional cost for those limits. Regardless of what the board decides to do, we need to act on it because they want to know if we're gonna do it, sign this. If we're not gonna do this, we need to sign off on it as well, so.
We're talking
When
$27
Clarence,
million.
Clarence was in, we were
Yeah.
obviously way low.
Yeah. I think you suggested going up 1 million,
An additional million.
an additional million.
I'll make the motion to raise our general liability coverage an additional $1 million.
That'd be from 2 million to 3 million. I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to increase our liability to $3 million. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries.
You guys look at something like that.
No, I get advertisements. I got, because they sell it to them, it's nationwide. Well,
Oh, that's gotta be-
the firm that we were communicating with from Northwest Iowa. So,
I suppose it's,
the fellow that came to our meeting, he became a missionary.
really?
So, but there's still some, there's problems, getting enough shingles piled up to make it cost effective, bring in a grant, transporting the market to Sioux City. So we're on hold with that right now. And we haven't got very few shingles this year. Very few asphalt shingles.
No hail this year.
Yeah, it's, Rockville City got nailed.
And some guys they're putting 2x4s on top of asphalt shingles and then putting steel.
Yeah.
Depending on the quality of the asphalt, it actually isn't bad to leave them on.
Mhm.
Well, we've talked about it before, a lot of public buildings are going to steel because you can recycle steel.
Well, and the life expectancy
Yeah.
as well. It's-
Yeah. So,
And if you don't get into a weight issue, that's just an additional insulating factor to it. If you gotta leave them on, you leave them on.
They started installing the new phone system over at the sheriff's office, communication center, jail, and police station today. And there's a tutorial at 11 o'clock.
hey, Ron, this Dean,
Run.
we're finished with our agenda.
And they're gonna do the courthouse next week.
Okay.
You said that at 11.
Just gonna take our way.
We'll go into recess.
He said what?
He said, "I'll
Thank you.
County crews laid gravel roads. You're repairing road culverts on Xavier Avenue north of 300th Street, 50th Street. Mowing road shoulders on the gravel roads, fixing a field entrance on 350th Street damaged by heavy rains. Fall seeding construction areas throughout the county. Assembling 5 refurbished truck snow plows. Building field entrances at numerous locations around the county. Project status, Boyer River Bridge, they did get the seeding done. I think there's just a little bit of finish and touch-up work to get done on that. White topping project on D59, contractor's paving near Jackson this morning, which is about 4 miles east of Highway 39. He's got about 2 miles to get to the bridge. And I assume when they get to that point, they'll go back and do some radiuses and hand pours while they remove the concrete basically from the bridge east to about that half mile that we're gonna replace with 8-inch full gaps.
Where are they going with that?
To our yard there in in Wall Lake.
They have room for all that there?
Well, he's made arrangements, I think, with the
Landowner?
landowner there to the west.
I was gonna say, yeah, what, they hauled a little bit out there,
Yeah,
they're gonna need, okay.
they're gonna try to pile it up higher too, if they get some of it moved in there, so. Yeah, it's gonna be,
Well, I mean.
I'm not sure Mike knows how much stuff's coming, so.
No, I think it'd be better if it was a bigger footprint.
Yeah, yeah. Patching, contractor did finish the patching yesterday. So he's done and moved out. Well, I'll take it back, he might have some, I'm not sure he's got the joints sealed on those patches yet. But as far as concrete pouring, he's got that done. Information on destination intersection lights, new Highway 20, M50, M54, and N28. Most of this information I put together in August 2013, a year ago, so I need to double check on some of this to see where they're at today. But the M50 intersection, the estimate they gave me at that time to run the power line down there was $14,400, and then a monthly charge of $6.22 for a 100-watt light. M54 north of Sac here, that's Raccoon Valley REC. They estimate about $4,000 to install, and a year ago they were increasing their rates, and it was going to be about $47.61. Now since then we've got a letter from the REC the other day that says that they're not going to have security lights any longer, and landowners that have their security lights, the letter said they're going to come out and remove the ones that are installed on the transformer poles. I guess since they're back on the property, I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I need to call, Mitch told me I need to call Charlie down in Glidden, I think it was, to find out what their program's going to be on our intersection roads.
Why would theirs be so much higher than America?
It's just the way they do their program. I mean, REC used to be,
You want to collect it all up front, or do you want to collect it? Well,
Yeah, I mean, they're cheaper on installation, but.
until a year ago, about the time I called and asking about this, they're charging $9.10 to $9.50 per light. And a year ago, they said that, because when they put a light up, they also have to have a transformer there. And so they're gonna start charging, as I remember, charging for the transformer, and the transformer cost, I think, was, can't remember right now. But the transformer cost was the most of that, and then the other part was
so,
lights.
down in your bottom statement there with, we had asked you to investigate the solar LED. Are they effective, and what's the lifespan? And, I mean, if you don't have to, if they are a good system, that's what you just well do, and not have a monthly fee, and do it one time and not have a monthly cost.
I did contact this company, Carmen Hahn, and I got this off the internet, but that's a solar type light with and they were saying $6,000 or $7,000, $8,000 a piece for them. But I guess I hadn't checked in to see, how much light that provides, whether that's providing, because these other lights that are typically out there, are just 100-watt lights,
Which isn't,
which isn't that big. I mean, it's more,
How they throw out a lot of light.
it's more a landmark for people
Yeah.
to know where the corner is than it is anything else.
Yeah, but it lights up the road underneath it. I mean,
but the landmark piece is huge.
yeah, that's,
And how well it lights the road is relative to how close to the road it is.
I know.
With DOT, and I haven't talked to DOT since, for a year ago, but I guess I didn't put that down on here, but my understanding from DOT was if we're gonna put these lights up, they want them back at the right-of-way line, not.
on the fence line?
Let me put that, if they're not mounted on a breakaway pole, so that if somebody hits them, they shear them off, then they want them back at the right-of-way line, which puts them, a long ways back, from the road.
Just like we had said though, it's more a landmark. I mean, it's not, it's just identifying where the intersection is for a landmark light, not necessarily having to have, a really, really well-lit intersection.
Is there some done like in Calhoun County, like at Rockwell City?
I don't know, I guess I never noticed it.
I think the one north of Rockwell City, the American line's right past there, so they didn't have to build any line. And so I think we've got a light, I think on the southeast corner, I'd have to look, I can't remember.
But it's clear back to the right of way.
Fence
Yeah.
line,
Yeah,
So in all these cases, we don't have line right there.
no.
I think we should, check the illumination on these LEDs. That sounds like a quick fix.
I don't know, I thought about seeing what the cities, I don't know who the cities work with those LED lights they put on their city signs.
Yeah, they're really bright.
I don't know whether they, go dark at, a certain time.
Oh, you mean by,
They're on a light sensor type of thing.
on 4 in the
But
morning?
do they last
Are they all?
yeah.
Sure.
They run out of gas at 4 in the morning?
Well, that's what I was wondering too. In the summertime, of course, they'd go a lot
Well,
later into the evening because it's light till 9 o'clock.
I'd be, my bigger concern is what the life expectancy and what warranty might be. Because
And who's replacing the bulbs and that?
that too, I'm sure if we own it, we'd have to, or make arrangements.
Yeah.
But is it something that's gonna last 5 years or will it last 10?
I think on this one here, I think she told me there was like a 5-year warranty on the battery, which I assume that's probably a prorated warranty, but, at some point, those batteries are gonna slowly, lose their capacity to
Hold the
to
charge.
hold the charge. I mean, it's just like those little sidewalk lights you got, when they're first new, they work pretty good, and with time, they just die out sooner than night.
We would like to get this done pretty soon. I mean, this has been going on way too long. And now we're looking at frost considerations if we're gonna try to get a pole in, and so we kinda need to
Well,
get a decision.
and at the time I looked at this before, I went back and, the Iowa Highway Research Board had done some studies over the years on intersection lights. And the first one they did in 1984, their conclusion was there was no significant difference in accident rates at lighted versus unlighted intersections. And hence, the installation of destination lighting cannot be recommended based on safety benefits. And then in '08, they did another report that, I think at that time, they thought this study was gonna show, even though this study had hoped to address the removal of existing rural intersection lighting, the researchers were not able to discern enough clarity from the statistical evaluation to provide practical guidance In other words, apparently at that time, the Iowa Research Board is made up of county engineers and DOT and, trying to remember who else has representatives on that, but they recommend different, research projects. And apparently at that time, some counties were trying to get a study done that would show that these lights weren't effective and we could, you know, get rid of them.
I think it's a destination thing. I don't think you're gonna change your safety record that much, except I've found myself personally, I've talked to a lot of different people, you're going 65 miles an hour and those are dark, and before you know it, you're on the intersection and you're slamming on your brakes to get over into the turn lane or you miss it. And I think in these town situations, I don't expect that it would say, in one way, you know, with us slamming on our brakes, trying to now decide that we gotta get over quick, might have an effectiveness for safety, but I've found myself just missing it. And so you're going on by, and so that's why I would like to see, and I've done it personally myself, and we've had a lot of people
I mean, in the first,
contact us about it.
in the first year, you know, after this section of highway opened, you know, I'd heard a lot of comments about, you know, not knowing where the corner is and you know, not slowing down in time. But in the last year, I guess I haven't heard near, you know, I think maybe one or two comments in the last couple of years, because I think people are paying more attention to the advanced street signs and knowing which street they need to turn.
But if you're familiar with the area, that does
Right.
nothing for, and I was missing them growing up here.
Well, yeah, because when it first opened, it was like, you didn't know where you were.
And I'm obviously a slow learner.
I think we need to get it, on New Highway 20, we need to get lights on those.
I mean, I don't know, I was also gonna check with the DOT. Well, I wanna check with the DOT, see if there's any other options as far as where we could put those lights, you know. This type of pole might have a breakaway base on it, we might be able to put it up a little closer, but, I haven't, you know, haven't checked into that too.
Time is now the urgency because of the calendar date, so I don't want to go another 6 months and not get it done.
And you wanted to do it at all three of those intersections?
Yeah.
Because I noticed last, well, the other night, I was driving back from Taylor, and I noticed even at Highway, what would be 196 out here, the only lights there are actually down at the end of the ramp at the stop sign.
But those are ramped, and
Yeah.
you're way less likely
Yeah.
to miss those on.
Yeah, I was just on it Saturday night, and I didn't have any trouble.
You see the lights that
seeing
are coming
out
up
there.
too.
But I got on M54 and I saw the sign, I'm kind of familiar, and I almost stopped. You know, I got off, but I couldn't see where I was going. That's, you know, the main entrance, Sac City.
I will try to get up-to-date information then from these companies, and then also try to either get more LED information from this company, or else I'll talk to the cities and see who they dealt with their city signs, to see, you know, what company they're using. One thing I forgot to put on there, I thought about as I come over, the county engineers statewide organization called a meeting last Friday for all the counties that the pipeline's going through, and we had a pretty good discussion, just trying to get some consensus on, trying to get all the counties to look at coming up with a common requirements as far as crossing depths and whether they're gonna let them cross at an angle or not, whether they want an encasement. And then the second part of that, the Iowa code says that the Board of Supervisors is supposed to appoint an engineer to inspect these projects. And there's a few counties that have had some pipelines and shorter, 4 or 5 mile pipeline projects in their county, and they've worked with some consultants to do that inspection. And of course, the drainage districts are gonna probably, the board is probably gonna need somebody from the drainage district aspect to inspect that portion of it too. There was some discussion in maybe trying to set up a meeting with the supervisors during ISAC. I don't know whether it's sort of late to try to get something put together, but I think most of the county down there thought that if we could try to work like in regions and hire one consultant to do like 3 or 4 counties together, that might be a workable solution, but it's all basically just in the talking stages at this point.
I mean, I guess we have just about that much, so I guess I don't want to go into a region and pay, if you do a 4-county deal, I don't think we should pay 1/4 the cost of the.
Well, and again, the pipeline company has to pay the cost.
I see.
All the cost gets,
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
that's in the code.
Then it doesn't matter.
The county has to select somebody, and then you're supposed to have, I mean, they suggest that you have a discussion with the pipeline company, this is what our charges are gonna be.
I see.
and-
Okay.
and what the cost-
I just didn't, with such a very, very
Yeah, no,
tiny footprint in our deal, I really didn't want to spend a huge amount of money just, and hardly have any
Yeah.
contact with.
that code section talks about when the county is supposed to be providing inspection, and I don't know if I brought that with me or not.
You said something just briefly about encasement. What do you mean by that?
A lot of times when you put pipelines under roads, a lot of times they put an encasement around it, like that, put an 8-inch steel sleeve through.
Oh,
it,
in addition
and
to-
then run the 6-inch line through it.
I see.
Most railroad crossings, I think, still require encasements. I think our underground permit says anything over a certain size is supposed to be encased.
No, you're right. Like in that, I mean, you can kind of look at that in 2 different ways. That if you encase it and it's not as big as the inside is not as big as the outside, that you then leave air and for corrosion
And
considerations.
supposedly that's what the pipeline had pointed out to.
I mean,
Couple
I'm not
counties.
sure that's a good idea.
A couple of counties that were asking about that, that's supposedly the pipeline pointed that out, that you've got that gap for water and
Yeah.
air, and it
Yeah.
actually causes more corrosion on the pipe. So I think most counties were gonna agree that they weren't gonna require encasement.
Good, because I mean, if you think that over, yeah, maybe for protection, but the corrosion piece is gonna be way worse.
And part of the whole idea with the encasement is that, say you've got a gas line or a water line or sewer line going underneath there, and it does break, you can pull it out each end without disturbing the road again, and put the
Oh,
new-
true.
and put the new line in. I think with the advent of directional boring and more people using directional boring, rather than open cutting a crossing, when you directional bore, you basically make a hole through there that you slide the pipe through. And I think in a lot of cases, if that pipe would leak, it's gonna come back along the casing rather than come up through the ground. Or I should say along the casing, along the pipeline.
I think my personal view would be not to do it, just because, yeah, you might have to disturb the road, but I think the corrosion is just gonna multiply.
There was a guy there from the DOT, and he was supposedly gonna send us copies of what the DOT was, what their preliminary discussion was with the pipeline as far as crossings, and I don't think the DOT was gonna require it.
No.
I think there's a few counties that initially thought that was something we should do. So, anyway, according to the code sections, county county inspector's supposed to be there when they're clearing and grading, when they're staking center line, when they do road bores, when topsoil. I'll take that back. Those are times when the county should monitor it. Required by law when topsoil is removed, when trenching is being done, when it's being backfilled. I guess that's it.
So, but that's kind of all the time.
Well, you know, and so far, you know, our knowledge of how this whole process is gonna go through is pretty limited. I mean, when that guy was here, he was talking about they were gonna try to get 5,000 feet done a day. And so, you know, but they're trying to get this whole project done in 1 year from South Dakota to Illinois. And so they're gonna have multiple contractors working. I mean, you could have multiple contractors within your county possibly, so.
And the being under pressure, that's less concern about not having to have, you know, height isn't 100% in the daily consideration. Where I mean, it's to get your depths and things, but you're not needing a grade.
Right.
And so, but yeah, I thought when he said that too, that's a pretty aggressive schedule.
Yeah, you know, and they haven't even had, as far as I know, I don't think they've had any, my understanding is they've got to have these public meetings around the state before they can apply to the Iowa Utilities Board and even get a franchise, so. I mean, some counties are saying, well, I'm not even gonna talk to them because they're not a utility yet, so. But, I know in Calhoun County, they've got, some surveyors out looking for section corners and trying to collect data along the line. And that guy, when he was here, said they'd sent letters to the landowners along the proposed pipeline trying to get permission to go out and do survey work. And they only got about a 30% response saying they could go out and do survey work, so they can't force the landowner to let them on till, I don't think till after they're franchised. But they're trying to do some, I know they're digging up section corners and getting that much of it collected, because eventually they'll have to have easement slabs and everything else.
That's a lot of expense to incur in case it wouldn't be,
Didn't go through.
yeah, successful. You can have a lot of costs
Yeah.
in preparation that might not be utilized.
But until they get this, at least some of the preliminary survey done, you know, they don't even know exactly where they're going.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
Very good.
Motion.
Plan on going to recess.
I have to because I gotta do that presentation.
I plan on,
We're done harvesting.
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries.
Thanks, everyone. You too.